Welcome, we're at the historic Stanhope House in Stanhope, New Jersey for our first ever homeless veterans outreach concert. We have 7 bands here today in 2 rooms. You're going to have an excellent time. A little bit about Operation Chill Out. We started December 21st in the year 2000 with 3 Vietnam-era homeless veterans living under a railroad trestle. We met them. We decided that something had to be done about a situation where veterans who fought for us in wars past and wars present come home from wars and find themselves unable to cope, unable to continue to put their lives back together. So we tried to do something as small as we could to help them out. What we tried to do was bring them something that was useful to them. We asked these guys, what could you use on this cold winter day? And they said, when we were in Vietnam and the incoming would come, we had to bug out quickly. And the first thing we did was picked up our pack, picked up our M16, and we had to run. We do the same thing today. If somebody comes and hassles us or harasses us, or we get afraid, if we get cold, we pick up our pack and we run. We decided to put all of the new clothing, from socks to thermal underwear, to sweatshirts, to caps, to gloves, in a knapsack or a backpack. We've been doing that for 11 years every winter. That is our winter outreach for homeless veterans in the state of New Jersey. Again, we started in 1 location with 3 guys. We're now in 12 separate counties in New Jersey. We visit hundreds of people a year, veterans and non-veterans. Thank you for your interest in serving Operation Chill Out. To find out more about our organization and how you can get involved, go to www.operationchillout.org. And thank you for your support, and thank you for your service.
Well, get the hell away from me!
Hey, don't bother me again.
How dare you!
I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. Well, welcome to the Stanhope House. As you can see, we all get along as one big happy family. My name is John Klein, and I was charged with the responsibility of being the owner.
Responsibility?
And every once in a while I have to deal with something like this. As I said, this is our managing director, Sweets Ambrose, otherwise by proper name Mike Ambrose. Stanhope House has been around since 1790. It's been a house, a post office, a hotel, an inn, a tavern, a brothel, a rooming house, and then from the 50s on, some form of roadhouse.
We have some bikes rolling.
Bikers are here.
Let's go look.
Go ahead, you take a walk and...
How you doing? What up? Right in Byram, if we come out.
Byram on 206 and on 446. As I was saying, and so it's been many things over the years. And in the last 35 or 40 years, it's become world famous as a blues club. We call it the last of the great American roadhouses. And it's been featured primarily as home of the blues. Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Willie Dixon, Johnny Copeland, John Lee Hooker, just some, Stevie Ray Vaughan, to name a few who have played here. And we hope now that we've reopened it, to bring it back to its former glory. If you want to get us on the web, we're the StanhopeHouseNJ.com. So come on down. We hope to see you.
Let's go and meet some of the team. Operation Chill Out staff are all volunteers. We're a 501c3 not-for-profit corporation. Meet some of the team. Guys, introduce yourself. Say hi.
Donna Almquist, nice to meet you.
Bob Almquist, nice to meet you.
Dave Visto.
Joe Iozia, have a great time. Dan Fernald.
Hi, welcome to the Stanhope House.
Hey, we've been.
Dave, what are you doing here?
I I happen to be responsible for selling T-shirts today, and we've got a great, it's for our first annual Operation Chill Out, and it's our first benefit concert. It's fantastic. And we got a little deal if you, it's $20, and also we have the Stanhope House, and hopefully we'll be here again next year. And great bargain, $20 each and 2 for $30. And if we have some left, you can buy it on the web.
Let's take a look at some of our sponsors. A big thank you for those making this first annual benefit for homeless veterans a success. United States Department of Veterans Affairs. We have our Lyons Veterans Administration Hospital right nearby. Tremonton Harley-Davidson and the Warren County Harley Owners Group will be on their way shortly. You're going to hear and see these men and women who are out here to support our efforts. Bob's Long Valley Pizza, right downtown Long Valley. The Somerset County Cultural Diversity Coalition. Rolling Thunder, Chapter 3, New Jersey. Vietnam Veterans of America, New Jersey Chapter. Fred Kawa, U.S. Army retired. Our local politicians, Rodney Frelinghuysen, representative of the 11th Congressional District, and VLN Media Works, High Performance Learning and Organizational Communications, among others.
We're talking about the Stanhope House as a different kind of structure. One of, over the years, the most haunted buildings in the state of New Jersey. A number of different aspects to it. There have been paranormal teams who have come out to examine it. One team was here when, in my term, investigated it thoroughly top to bottom, came to the conclusion that there was a lot of, as they called it, activity going on here. We've all witnessed in our time here, either renovating the place or operating it, many, many different odd things that are unaccounted for in terms of normal human experience. And we're basically true believers. We feel, the ones of us that love the Stanhope House and want to protect it, that if there is any kind of emanation here, of essence here, it probably knows our hearts, knows that we're all for the Stanhope House, and therefore doesn't give us any trouble. But there has been a little trouble here and there over the years. Let's take a walk. That cover is the cover of a 40-foot well. Perfectly circular. The water is 38 feet down. That well resembles the well in the movie The Ring, and it probably has the same level of activity that in the movie The Ring had. When the investigators were here and they pulled that cover up and looked down, they were able to see straight down, and they got a lot of energy, a lot of energetic activity on their machines. Now, if you see a young Japanese girl start to come out of that water and climb up these stones, let's get the hell out of here as quick as possible. And so that well was put here back in the 1600s by Lord Stanhope, who was granted 6,800 acres by the King of England. He put that well in outdoors at the time, and under the stage is a hearth, an old fieldstone hearth, that was also put in for a huge walk-in fireplace that was used for the outdoor kitchen area and curing meats. Later on, of course, the building was built over this, and now it is as it is. That's one of the spots that gets a lot of spiritual activity, we think, at the Stanhope House.
Hi, my name is Daria Pampaloni. I'm a licensed clinical social worker with the VA. I'm here in Stanhope at Operation CHILLOUT'S benefit concert to end veteran homelessness. The VA cannot do this by itself, and these grassroots organizations do an awful lot of help to get the veteran to the VA. Vet centers are a little bit atypical for the VA in that we treat a different kind of population. We only treat combat vets. In my vet center, we treat veterans from World War II right through to the current operations. We can also treat the family members of the vets, which cannot happen anywhere else in the VA. We treat the family members who are dealing with the fallout that the veterans are experiencing. We also treat military sexual trauma for any veteran or active duty member, regardless of theater of operation, whether they're in combat or not. Military sexual trauma happens way more than it should, way more than anybody believes. It's man on man, man on woman, woman on woman, and woman on man. Nobody is exempt. If you experience that, I am so sorry, and please let us help you. We also treat the family members of service members who have died on active duty. The United States government offers them bereavement counseling, and we're the ones that do that. There are 5 vet centers in New Jersey. There are 300 vet centers in the states and territories. Any way that we can help, please let us do so. www.vetcenter.va.gov. Thanks so much for your service.
Operation Chill Out is an all-volunteer coalition founded in the year 2000 to help a group of homeless Vietnam-era veterans living in the open under a railroad trestle in northern New Jersey. Since then, we've delivered more than $750,000 of new warm clothing in the winter months, from 2000 to 2011. Our mission is to reach out, respond, rehabilitate, and return homeless men, women, families, and military veterans to healthy, productive lives. In the winter, we do backpack deliveries, duffel bags for a man or woman with new warm clothing, toiletries and survival gear, sleeping bags, local resources and information, delivered free to parks, alleyways, food pantries, soup kitchens, wherever the homeless gather. Our summer outreach is cases of bottled water, t-shirts, sunglasses, bug spray, sunscreen. All year long we do street sweeps to identify homeless populations in poor areas of New Jersey. We work with strategic planning for governments, law enforcement, social service, anybody who comes in contact with homeless veterans, individuals, or families. Operation Chill Out believes that every person has a talent and a skill, and all the little services, all the little generosities, all the little bits of charity help one person. Our motto, our logo used to be one person, one gift. We don't expect anybody, nor do we expect to solve the world's problems, but we can do something for one homeless veteran, man or woman, twice a year.
Over here, as we go to the old waitress pantry,
I got a flashlight right on my shoulder.
this one, the pen?
Yeah, hold on.
This seemingly innocent waitress pantry has been the home of sounds and noises that have driven more than one waitress out of here very quickly. Seems like, especially in the late evening, if you're walking by this area, you can hear a faint chuckling now and then. Where it comes from, none of us know, except that as you look down, we are directly over the old, we call it the old Revolutionary era basement. This is one of 2 basements in the Stanhope house. And there is a lot of emanation or energy activity down in that basement. There are stories connected with it. We have a story from our own director, Sweets Ambrose, of working down there and leaving very, very quickly because of a certain situation that occurred. So this is just another spot where we think some spiritual activity occurs. Let's take another look. Now, I won't take you down there now. Maybe when we get a chance and it clears out. When I pull this up, you go down a flight of stairs. Here, put the light on. When I pull this up, you can go down a flight of stairs that leads you into the old basement. The basement where Babe Ruth used to drink Prohibition liquor. I used to have 2 pictures of him in a 3-piece suit in the basement with a bottle, or it really wasn't a bottle, it was a quart jar, smiling and I guess probably imbibing at some point. every once in a while, Babe Ruth would come up here to lead the Memorial Day parade. And he'd wind up at the Stanhope house. Because he was Babe Ruth, I guess, maybe he saw a little privacy and come downstairs. The downstairs basement is quite large, and this is part of it. This is the oldest part of the building down there. And it rambles around, and we believe it's home, and so do the paranormals, of some very strange energies, so to speak. And perhaps we'll get a chance to go down there at some point. The other area, besides the main entertainment area, which has been home to a couple of stabbings, a murder or two in our history, and God knows what else has occurred back in the 200 years before then that it operated, also has a lot of energy emanation type activity, especially in the late evening. So these are a couple of spots that lend themselves to someone with some suggestibility, maybe not being as comfortable as they should be. I'm the owner of the place. Up in on the second floor, the rooming house was converted into 2 suites, a general manager suite and an owner's suite. To this day, even though I've been living up there for a year, or on and off, I still feel uncomfortable up there, and I was explaining that to a psychic, one of the psychics that came with the paranormal team. She said very quickly, well, that's a sign of presence. Presence. So I wondered about that, and I talked to the Robleskis, who owned the place in the past for 20 years, and they said, that is where a good friend of ours, Charlie, committed suicide. He hung himself. He was despondent over the fact that the Stanhope house might be closing, also that a woman that he cared a great deal for, I guess, had jilted him. And I guess after having too much to drink down here, he went upstairs and decided to end it all. And that, of course, could be one of the reasons that I feel uneasy up there. Is it possible that his essence remains in the place that he loved, and still, as an uneasy spirit, moves around the Stanhope house? Is it true? Is it not true? I don't know.
One of our principal targets for Operation Chill Out homeless activities is for our homeless veterans, as we said before. What we do is we have a rapid response outreach team. Once a homeless veteran is identified to us, either through phone or on our website, we mobilize to go out and to reach out to secure the location, to help the veteran in any possible way that we can. Sometimes that takes the form of just meeting with them, talking with them, being with them, having a cup of coffee, getting them a hot meal. Other times it might mean bringing them to a hospital for medical care, bringing them to the VA hospital for specialized care eligible for veterans. Once a month, we bring a home-cooked meal to the PTSD treatment unit at the Lyons VA Hospital. This is in coordination with one of our partners in Bud Lake, right down the road, the St. Jude Catholic Church Parish, Knights of Columbus. So look around. There's plenty of things to look and feel at this historic club. You're going to hear some great bands. And again, thanks for dropping by and being with us this afternoon.
Best time for you to come here. With what you want to do is late night. Because you may get some activity that'll get your attention. One of the paranormals literally got attacked in the attic. Walking with a camera, and something scratched it downward. You know, upward is easy to do. Mm-hmm. But to see the nail marks going down, I mean, how could you possibly do it to yourself? So let's go take a look up in the attic.
I do have a little bit of information. Do you want me to take that out?
Yes,
This is the old porch of the Stanhope house. And controlling the porch and most of the building is our great security man, Snake.
How you doing, fella? Doing some kind of documentary, John.
Sort of. We're talking now, Snake, about the haunted aspect of the Stanhope house.
I know all too well about the haunted aspect. I've had some occurrences of my own.
Why don't you tell them there's one story. There's one story in particular about him doing some work here, and then putting all of his shovels and hammers and things in the back of his big van.
Oh, and the guys were a little ticked off that I woke them up early in the morning.
And let Snake tell you what follows.
Well, anyhow, we were pulling, a buddy of mine was helping me on the job. Had him doing shingles on the bar in the back while I was moving some lumber over that we brought down from the attic. He started yelling, "Hey, Snake, who's in your van?" I say, "Ain't nobody in my van." He said, "Well, they're messing with your tools." Well, I walked over there, and out comes a tape measure, a hammer, and a 5-gallon bucket of tools. He just flies off the back of the truck, dumps all over the place. I ran up there, a little ticked off, ready to punch somebody in the head, and there was nobody there. True story. Fact.
And we have.
And I got witness to it.
we have many, many more like that. So come with us and take a walk, and we'll.
Talk to me later. I'm here all day.
Okay.
You got all those things. Back again at the beer garden at Stanhope House. We're having a great gig this afternoon. I want to introduce Tony DiStefano. Tony is our full-time all-volunteer coordinator for Homeless Veterans Outreach. Tone, why don't you say hi to the guys?
Hello everybody, I'm Tony DiStefano. Nice to talk to you this afternoon. Well, homeless veterans are near and dear to my heart, having been in the service for 24 years myself, and having been an Iraqi freedom veteran. I just feel that it's my duty as an officer and a gentleman to continue the work and to help the men that are still out in the fields and who can't fend for themselves properly. So that's what attracted me to Operation Chill Out, because they actually go out and we actually go out in the fields, find the veterans where they live, and try to assist them in any way we can, with warm clothing, with backpacks, with assistance at the VA, getting them a DD-214, which is their record of service, without which they can have no VA services. These are the reasons that I serve Operation Chill Out, and it's an honor to do so.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks for your service.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Back in the day, when they were completing the canal, for years and years, the drovers, the mule skinners, I'm talking about the 1800s, would come here to the 3rd floor. That's the only place that the folks who owned this place at that time would let them go, because they smelled so bad from, of course, working with the mules and digging and so forth. And up in the attic, there were about 20 or 30 rooms, believe it or not. This is in an area where the temperature could be easily 120 degrees on a hot afternoon in the summer. And they had these little 8x8 cubicles that they stayed in overnight. And that was during a time when the Stanhope House was a rooming house as well as a tavern. Come on, we'll show you the some of what is part of that. This is the old hallway. Now, what used to be here were about 30 rooms, spaced on this side, and then a central door here, and then more rooms on either side of the corridor here, and that got you to about 30 in the rooming house. Then when the drovers came and wanted to go upstairs, this is where they went. Now excuse the mess, we're just cleaning up from Halloween. But this is how they came. You can see this banister leads up. This of course was not here. Welcome to the attic of the Stanhope house. Looks harmless, but it isn't. Here, if you look down, you can see the line that was caused by the old support for the wall that went straight up. Rooms on this side, rooms on that side, and those were the front closet. You can still see some of the old numbers. Most of the heavy energy activity, if you want to call it that, essence activity, emanations, were on this side of the attic, in that corner. I've already got the bumps, and in that corner. Now the photographer...
Yeah, me too, I just got him.
Huh?
Me too.
Feel it?
Is it colder?
It's colder, and you can also feel it working on your skin a little bit.
Yeah.
In that corner, now in that corner is where the guy carrying some of the heavier equipment was pacing this way. And as we watched him, there were about 10 of us following these guys around. And there were 8 of these guys who were not just, you know, goofy kids. I mean, they were experienced in this operation for many, many, many years. Got to about here, and I saw him turn like that. The next thing we knew, we pulled down the back of his shirt, and there was a really solid scratch that had just formed there, not, you know, had been there for a while. Over here, one of the technicians got this far, got this far, and right in that corner, his meter started to jump like crazy. He said, there's something over there. And he began to talk to it. He said, look, we're not here to harm anybody. We're simply here to try to understand what it is that's at work in this place beyond human experience. And so nothing happened from there except that the energy continued. We've had Rob Mafia. I know it's a tough last name, but Rob Mafia, a painter here, worked here for several months, and after a while he couldn't get anybody to come in and work with him. We've had experiences where he's had a ladder and he's had his paint and he's had a thing that would open a paint or a line marker, and these things go flying around without being, anybody being near them. The only legitimate, I believe, experience I've had here occurred when I was first here, and the place was not renovated, and I was working late. And I was on the fireplace side of the Stanhope house, sitting at a big circular table, which I threw all my blueprints and everything else over. And it must have been, it was late at night. I don't know whether it was 11 o'clock or 2 o'clock, because you lose track of time. And it's silent, and everybody else is gone. And I've got my lamp, and most everything else is off, except for a few lights. And as I'm working, the door, which is now the door to our stereo intercom room, slowly opens. So I watch it open, almost without emotion, just informationally taking it in. And after it opens all the way, I get up, and I walk over to it, and I shut it. Click. The reason I remember click is it's one of the few doors in the Stanhope house which doesn't have a straight line in it that closes properly. In any case, I go back and sit down. I'm working, it couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. It opens again. Now it's got my attention. So I go over to it again, and I close it. And as I close it, I'm saying what I usually say. Hey, everybody in here loves this place, me included. I'm here. I hope that if any, when I pass, that you all bury me in the basement, because I already found heaven, and it's right here. And hopefully, if there is anything that has a consciousness or understands human behavior, they know my heart is true. But the reason I was saying it was because, A, I wanted, if there are such things as afterlives or after existences, I just wanted the powers that be to know that they just had another person in here that was like, felt like they do. And hopefully they all feel, if they're here, the same way. That it's their place and they wanted to persevere. That was the only experience that I had here that to me was truly something that I could not explain. Welcome to the attic of the Stanhope house.
What are some of these instruments?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff here. Mike Sweet stores some of his guitars up here. We have a handmade, if you want to see it, this is an old soundboard. This is something from back in the day. You can see the size of these clocks and horns.
Wow.
This was handmade for the Stanhope house by Dave's Sound out of Whippany, one of the premier sound studios in the country, if not the world, specializing in making things like this. This is a sub by itself. There are two of these. This is a subwoofer, and this is a mid-range. Now you need a lot of power to drive these babies. These things are what you would use at Yankee Stadium to announce somebody's induction into the Hall of Fame or Yankee Day or whatever. And yet these were used back in the day downstairs in the big room as the primary form of sound. So you can imagine the kind of jamboree they would have downstairs where they wanted to. Yeah, we use this for storage now. We have a standing offer. Well, it's not yet. We're going to do it. We're going to do it probably in the wintertime. We're going to offer $1,000 to anybody who can stay in the old basement from sundown to sunup with no candles, no illuminations, no nothing. And if they can, they're going to win that ticket. It's either going to be that or a trip to Aruba or something like that. And that we're going to probably try that after, as long as it's legal, we're going to try it probably after the new year. Come on down. Now, if you look here, you can see, and even though this has been cut, you can see that there are dowel holes here for the banisters that would normally have been here to simply walk up the stairs. This door has been put in recently, I'd say in the last 50 years. Be careful coming down. That's pretty much it for right now. We'll get a chance. Other time we'll take you down into the basements.
Okay.
And you can take a look around there.
Earlier than later, though? It gets creepy later, or what happens?
Oh, it gets creepy later.
Yeah?
One of the things that's really unusual to us is that back in the day, that old basement, as big as it is, was used at part for the delivery of coal. It was a coal-based back in the day. And down in that basement, in that room, in a little room next to the coal chutes, lived somebody with a candle and a bed, and he had his quarters there, provided he would take care of the furnace. So there was somebody that lived in that black basement, I don't know for how long, they said for several years, and he got his room, I guess his room, for nothing, for taking care. So you can imagine this guy was either was pretty self-assured or not, not at all imaginative. One or the other or both. Let me go shut the door. Now we invite any legitimate member of the paranormal investigative community to come out, a credentialed member, and look at this. Not somebody from, you know, Channel 92 or whatever it is, Paranormal World, you know, that kind of stuff, but somebody who is classified by competent authority as being legitimate. To dispute, or simply informationally to come out, or to otherwise maybe shine more light on a world outside of our own here at the Stanhope House.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you're quite welcome, buddy.
Excellent.
Thank you. That was much appreciated.
Definitely. You know, check out the basement later, I guess.
We'll get you down there when as soon as it's what Nixon used to use, Richard Nixon, his favorite word, appropriate.
Right on.
Right?
Okay.
As soon as it's appropriate.
All right, let's go check out some of these bands playing.
Yeah, go get what you got to get. Just be careful. We'll give you whatever we can in the way of assistance. Excellent. And remember, your camera, you can bring, when you want to bring your, you got your camera equipment secure someplace?
Yeah, I have it near the stage.
Okay. Anytime you want to just drop it in one of our security closets upstairs, you're welcome to do that.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for coming out to the first inaugural Operation Chill Out's Homeless Veterans Benefit Concert. We appreciate your attendance more than you know and your generosity. Right now I'd like to turn it over to our leader and director, Ray Chmielewski.
Thanks, Tony. God bless all of you for coming here on this beautiful day. I think the Lord's been looking out for us. We had very, very short turnaround time to put this together, and look at the turnout, and we're just getting to the first band. Thank you so much for being here. Every dollar that you spend on a t-shirt and your $20 to get in here and some donations, the 50-50 raffle, are going to go to help homeless veterans in New Jersey. Our little group started in the year 2000, December 21st. It was the winter solstice. We didn't know that at the time. There were 3 Vietnam-era black veterans living under the trestle about 3 or 4 miles from here in Dover. We thought that was unsatisfactory, and it could not stand. And we needed to do something about that. We've been around for 11 years doing our best, and the little that we can do to help homeless veterans throughout New Jersey. Brothers and sisters, we know that there's at least 6,000 to 7,000 homeless veterans from the Vietnam era, from Korea, from all the Gulf conflicts that are on the street. What breaks our heart is every time we go out, we meet new ones, more. For the first time in the past 2 years, we see women veterans on the street with men veterans. This cannot stand. Operation Chill Out is dedicated to easing the hardships of homeless people. When we find homeless vets, we do many, many things. The first thing is we make sure of their safety and security. We offer services. We get them to the VA. We get them to medical visits. We give them a backpack with warm survival gear so they can spend the night in comfort. Every dollar that you spend here is going to go to those services. We're going to be doing some fun things. We got bands playing in both rooms this afternoon, and we understand that this might be the first of an annual event. I'm not going to take time away from these great acts. They're here to entertain you. I want you to do one thing for me. Take care of your bartenders, your waitress staff, eat, drink, and be merry. And without any further ado, let's bring up the first act. Tone, introduce your guys.
Hey everybody, we're Benny in the 45s. We're just happy to be here and be able to contribute to this great event, and I appreciate all the bands, all the musicians giving their time and talent to this event, and without further ado, we're going to do what we came to do, and that's to rock.
No, I thought I heard on the radio that it was going to be a drop-off for clothes for homeless. Drop-off. Okay. How much you got? I got a handful of shirts and stuff. You know, I got a lot of wool.
Bring them inside and talk to the people at the table.
Okay, let me go home and get it.
Hello.
They heard something about drop-off clothing.
Well, we'll take them. Thank you so much.
absolutely.
I'm Ray. I'm with the Operation Chill Out. And your name, sir?
Brian Murphy.
Brian Murphy. Thank you
Yeah,
so
I
much.
just lived down the street.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
I'm a neighbor, and I heard about it, and I said, well, I can always close in the attic.
Would you like to come in on us and sit in here some music?
I'm doing yard work. So.
All right. Okay. Well, if you're finished, we're here till 6 o'clock. Come on back, and we'll you can sit in and
okay, great.
Enjoy yourself. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Okay.
God bless you. Thank you.
Keep doing good work.
Thank you. Thanks so much. We just had a man who's locally here, heard about our benefit, came in and just brought a whole rack of gently used clothing, work jackets and sweaters and pendletons. These are going to keep some homeless vets warm this winter. And we want to thank God for people like him, because without people like him, we can't do our work. We depend on the kindness of strangers. Someone who will never see this person, who receives this out of the kindness of his heart, cleaned out his closet, brand new, clean clothing, and this is going to go keep somebody warm this winter. We thank God for people like this.
Yeah, I see
Next song. Last song.
Stick around, there's a lot of great bands today. Thank you all for coming.
All right, let's give it up again. Let's hear it.
We got Lost in Place up next.
I want to thank everybody coming out on this wonderful afternoon. There's 1,000 things you could be doing, but you came here to support homeless veterans in New Jersey. We want to bring up two guys who joined with me December 21st of the year 2000, who started Operation Chill Out to bring supplies to 3 Vietnam-era veterans living under a trestle in Dover, New Jersey. Roger Gottlieb, Jim Murtaugh, front and center. Come on, let's give it up for these two guys. Raj, come on up. Roger's a Vietnam-era veteran, highly decorated, receiving services now for his service that he gave to the country. Jim is a proud father of many, many guys and girls, and he's going to tell us about one who just finished his active service yesterday, 11/11/11. James, talk about Connor for a minute.
Okay. My wife and I are very blessed. We have 73 kids. We've had sex twice. It's amazing how this... Our middle guy, Connor, just got out of the Marines. He came to us when he was getting out of high school. He had a full scholarship to college. We thought he was going, and a week later, he told us he joined the Marines, and so he went off to California, ended up in Afghanistan, came back and finished, as Ray said, he finished yesterday at 11 o'clock in the morning on 11/11/11. Go figure. He drank a full bottle of Jack Daniels, and now he's going to be a comedy writer. But we just, on behalf of the family, we want to thank everybody who has supported us, and all the other families who have kids that are in the military. We had another one in the Navy. But more important, what Ray has been doing all these years is incredible. And those of you who have never had the experience, I would tell you, just take a day, join the gang, go out and visit these people who have given up so much of their lives and are living under trestles and behind churches, and give them a day of your life. It's invaluable. You'll have an experience that you'll never be able to match in your life. And thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I want to introduce my best friend, Roger Gottlieb. Roger and I go back more years than we want to remember, to the early 60s. And Roger spent some hard time in Nam, and he's my best bud. And he joined with Jim and I to do that first delivery to homeless veterans living under the trestle in Dover. Thank you, Roger, for your service. We are having a 50-50 raffle, which will be called at 4 o'clock sharp. Cheryl, Marianne, Leslie, Dottie, and others from the Chill Out team are going around. Every dollar that we make goes to service homeless veterans in New Jersey. Thank you, guys. God bless.
You want me to start a fight or something?
Hey, you know, come to think of it, I am kind of bored.
Okay. With the female or male?
Hey, take your pick. Some of them women can be fun, you know. We had a girl here 3 weeks ago. I finally had to call the cops. Took 3 cops and myself to carry out and stuff her into the cop car.
Yeah, no, that's not
Swear to God, in handcuffs like this. They carried her from the front, the other cop grabs her feet, and he's like all over. So I went and I helped him. And trying to get her through that cop car door, forget it. Talk about wiring.
Thank you, guys. Stand up, stand together. Yeah.
Well, last time I was here was '82. I see that they preserved these steps here that used to go upstairs, and no one ever really went up there. It was blocked off, and there's a photo of them, the way they used to look, all beat up. And in this room, this whole area was nothing but some pinball machines and a couple of things that people used to hang out. If you couldn't spill into that room, in front of the stage area was a big square bar, and it didn't have as much room as it has now. So people used to, when they sold out a big crowd, like Norma or Willie Dixon, I went to see Roger McGuinn here, the crowd would spill out into this area and be looking through this little door watching the show. Oh, wow. So now, seeing it renovated, they did a good job.
But after I have it, that day I just drank the water by the gallon.
Excellent.
Thank you.
was back home in Derby. Mouth of the foil we've been the sun as down below decks we were lying. Hagrid screams walking out of his dreams, and the vision of old Robert dying. The sun burned the crew as we dished out the crew. O'Connor was down with the fever. 60 rebels that day bound for Botany Bay. How many